Kevin. And when I first mentioned Fuckup, he was like, oh yes, I completely identify with this. The question is, do you want the Fuckup stories or do you want like the cluster Fuckup stories? Right? What level of Fuckup should I tell at this event? And then we got his bio. And his bio pretty much said he did bank telling, trading, programming, risk management, global IT, masters in AI, a number of top-level and money and programming computer-related positions. And each time he would get a little bit bored, he'd move on to something else, get a little bit bored, move on to something else. And so now he's on his 6th startup after a number of exits, number of acquisitions, a lot of money going on. Today he'll share a very special story for us. Is it a good intro?
It is.
I hope so. All right. Please welcome Kevin Flanagan.
Okay. So the clock's running. So I'm here to talk about my second startup, and it's we picked. Yes. Okay, the technology is really helping today. I have a cartoon all about this.
Grace is not the second story. I'm sorry. Sorry. Kevin, please tell a joke while I'm figuring out my joke.
So, joke. I'm trying to think. I've got lots of jokes in the slides, but I don't want to spoil those.
Okay.
So, we ready? Okay, so here we go. So, I'm here to talk about my second startup. The thing that isn't talked about a lot in the current sort of fail fast, fail early are the casualty lists. And every startup has casualty lists. And my second startup was no exception to this. We had 6,000 customers we stopped being able to fulfill our promise to. 14 staff I had to let go. I spent more than $1.8 million chasing this dream over 2 years. And finally there's me. And it doesn't matter what the books say or the blurbs say. There's an effect when you go through something like this and you screw up as badly as I screwed up in this. So, we need a little bit of context though. This is, casualty list. Who am I? Well, when I started this, I had got pretty close to the top in investment banking, and I was younger, a lot younger than I am now. I had more dark hair. And I had, of course, the requisite MBA, my Master of Bugger All, I call it. And I had just exited my first startup successfully. So, what could go wrong? Because after all, I was a master of the universe. So, the idea was really simple. We were going to be, I suppose in modern parlance, the Uber for PC services. You get us, we fix your PC. This is at a time now when PCs cost £4,000 or £5,000. They didn't work nearly as well. The hardware was unreliable. Windows called itself an operating system, it was debatable, and things screwed up. It was typically fixed by the techie next door, the guy you knew who knew something about computers, and you went and got him. And that was what we called the company. We called it TENT, techie next door. So everything was lining up perfectly. However, I had a master of bugger all, and I knew nothing about retail. So we were going to do some market research. And I turned around and got one of the edgiest and most advanced advertising companies in London to go out and do a whole pile of focus groups. I paid a lot of money for this. So they were supposed to verify the product, verify the route to market, and check that our marketing plan was on course. When the initial results came back, I knew there was a problem. And this is going to sound paradoxical. The problem was we had an over 90% acceptance rate. That meant in the focus groups, everybody wanted this. Now, my master of bugger all had taught me that doesn't happen. That is, unlikely, because established brands, if they get more than 60, love it, and in startup, 40% is a hell of a win. And in investment banking, we have a maxim: if it's too good to be true, it is. So, I decided I was going to go along and check what was going on at these focus groups. So I just tooled up the next one. And this is what we were getting back from the people in the focus groups consistently. That image, believe me, the violence is understated compared to some of the stuff they drew. And when you asked them to describe it, they were describing moments of intense frustration and impotence. Right? These are smart guys. They're A's, B's, and C1s. They're successful, and this fucking machine doesn't work. Right? So it's intense, and this is the emotion that came across, right? So the only issue was they'd all heard urban myths about having to pay more to get it fixed than they paid for it. And they're not dumb, so they weren't going to get caught on that. So, anyway, about this session, about 15 minutes in, I meet this guy. So, in the middle of the focus group, he stands up, throws down his clipboard, and says, "Just give me the fucking number." And I'm like, what? And literally, this is what goes through my brain. So, I'm a master of the universe. This is going to work out swimmingly. Order the yacht. So, how would I describe it? What's to stop me? I go ahead, start it up as fast as I can, hire as many people as I can, buy all the scooters. That was our USP. We were one of the guys on scooters to solve the problem of going around getting around London and the logistics. So it's up, go, and away we go. Do the marketing. It's all done. Just waiting for the phone to ring. But the phone didn't ring. Not nearly often enough. Not after the first week. Not after the first month. Not after the first year. Not even at the end of the 2 years was the phone ringing. So, what the fuck is going on? And I am pulling my hair out. I am confused, conflicted. I am ricocheting around like a bullet out of a high-velocity rifle in a steel room. And the basic problem was we weren't converting. Our marketing wasn't converting. We were getting 0.1% in conversion. Right? Nothing, no campaign broke 0.3% conversion. Right? And you die when you're spending an awful lot more with marketing than you're getting in the door. So, what to do? So I go along for about 2 years. I'm feeling a lot like this. So, at the end of 2 years, I happened to have a chance conversation with the guy who maintained our gas boiler in London, a lot of gas boilers. And this is a guy I trust to stop our house blowing up. So he's a key guy. And when he turns around and he says, "I know what your problem is, Kevin. You're the cowboys of the noughties." I go, "What? What do you mean?" And he explains. And it's a really simple concept. Trust cannot be bought. It can only be earned. And that was the big insight. So, what to do? 2 years in, I've blown all my cash. I don't have a business that's viable in any sense. I'm feeling a little bit like this guy. And it's kind of, uh-oh, there's no way out. So, I shut it down and fired all the guys, rescinded our promise effectively to the customers, and pulled it out. And part of the reason for that was there was a window for this business. I mean, I knew enough about, quite a lot about technology, but you could see the internet was going to come and it was going to change the way software was delivered. Windows was starting to get better, even though that took even longer than I thought. But USBs were coming, peripherals were getting better. You could see that, the industry was slowly but surely upgrading its game. 2 years previously, there was a window. 2 years in, no resources, there's no window. And now, more importantly, understanding that it was about trust meant that you could only build that slowly. You could not build that quickly. Right? Trust was never going to be a marketing campaign away. It's a much slower, harder road, and steeper road to climb than a marketing campaign or a marketer would let you believe. So, what are the takeaways? So that was it. Business is closed, and that was it. The takeaways are simple. Try not to do startups alone. If you noticed, I never talked about co-founders. I did that one on my own. Spectacularly. So Homer's a good guy. Nothing else matters if you ask the wrong questions. Right? And, market research, let's be honest, that's my view of market research now. And I had asked the wrong question. I had asked people, does your PC piss you off? Do you want it fixed? And the answer was a resounding, of course we fucking do. So the question should have been, do you want a stranger in your house, rummaging around your expensive toy with all your personal stuff on it? Are you comfortable with that? If I'd asked that question, I'm pretty sure the marketing would have been quite a lot different. In fact, I pretty much know how I'd have done it. It would have been a slower burn, more about presence, permanence, being there, and creating that association. Because that would have been the only way to build trust. The other takeaway, and this, by the way, describes the state of technology even today. I've been using this for about 14 years. JFDI. And I don't mean the incubator down the road. I mean what software engineers mean, just fucking do it. Sometimes you have to chuck away all the strategies, all the planning, all of that, and just bloody well do it to find out. Sometimes that's the only way you're going to get an answer. So, I will leave you with those 4 thoughts. Thank you very much.
He's
Questions?
not free to go yet. Yeah.
Shit.
Oh, was there already a question? Okay. Thank you to Kevin
Yep.
for. Yeah. Go ahead.
Did you ever confront the people who gave the initial responses on your survey and tell them what you thought about it?
I kept the results for about 10 years, and every time I got pissed off at market research, I'd play it back again and go, fucking never again. Yeah.
Did you spend 1.8 million of your own money or someone else's money?
No, the company was making money, but about half of that was my own.
There's a very similar concept in Australia called a nerd near you, nearby nerd, which is doing okay. What's the difference?
The difference was effectively marketing campaign. I blew a huge amount of money on marketing. I mean, I believed in marketing. I did that. The problem is trust is a really hard road to plow, right? You can't build it quickly. It doesn't, we don't naturally trust people until we've known them for a while, until we got to know them. And that's what I mean about permanence. The marketing would have been different. It would have been literally on the back of a bus. Why? Because the longest dwell time is on the back of a bus. You're stuck in traffic. You see it. And you see it day in, day out, week in, week out. That's the sort of thing that builds perception that they're around, they're here. We had all the branding. The scooters were lurid orange. You couldn't miss them. And the guys were out in polo shirts because I wasn't going to let greasy little IT guys go into somebody's house,
But nearby nerd works very much with communities. It works within a 10-kilometer distance. Maybe that's where the trust factor comes in, because you know who's going to come more or less into your house to help you. It works geographically and
I'd accept that, but this is also pre-internet. Well, pre-internet, the problem most people had was they couldn't get on the internet. So we didn't advertise, for example, on the internet. There was no point, right? Because if your PC's buggered up, you can't reach the dead channel.
Last 2.
What did you do to recover psychologically?
I started another company. But this time it's German.
Right.
Recover, I think you carry it with you. It's a scar, I am cynical about market research beyond belief. You might have got it. And it's interesting, I was at a thing today with a guy from Google who was talking about, early adoption and whatever, and Google, the great behemoth, how did they sell Google Apps, right, to CIOs? They started ringing up people. They just, and in a sense, there's that great essay by Paul Graham, Do Things That Don't Scale. I had 2 mistakes. The wrong question, but the other thing was I believed that marketing and market research would work where doing things that didn't scale wouldn't. And then the interesting thing was, in the business plan I had forecast rebuy every 2 years. Our rebuy rates were 8 times better. People loved us. Just not enough people. Sorry, good question.
What was mentally the hardest issue for you when shutting down?
Was actually trying to figure out what had gone wrong until that conversation. Just to give you an idea how dramatic that was, I had that conversation, went into the office, and fired everyone. Because I knew, literally the minute I understood the problem, I knew I couldn't fix it. And that was it. And I got calls on my personal phone for 3.5, 4 years afterwards. You know, the idea is good, it was just my approach. And that was down to the fact that I did it on my own. You know, I did it on my own, believing I was a master of the universe, and, you know, as you say, dug a very large hole. Okay.
Hi there. So do you think that you could have potentially fixed it and made the business work, or not?
Not because you got to understand, I was trying to build something that scaled. I wasn't trying to build a lifestyle business, and I figured the window was closing faster than I could get it to the point where it would be interesting enough for somebody to acquire it. That and the fact that, you know, I'd run out of money. My wife was not going to let me write another check. Well, she wanted to let me write 2 more, but that was about it. Okay.
Fantastic. Is there a question that you wish you could be asked so you could answer it, or is there anything you would like to say to the audience at this point?
No, I think the big takeaway is don't do it on your own if you can. That doesn't mean some people can't. They've got all the ducks in a row, but most of us don't.
Okay. Thank you very much.